Howdy, folks. I wanted to make a quick video explaining sort of my grading practices in this class because it might be a little bit different than what you're used to in a traditional high school class. You're going to notice that I'm not assigning point values to assignments. It's not like you get a 9 out of 10 or a 23 out of 25, and then I average all those together to give you your grade. Instead, what I'm using is a proficiency scale based on these four or really five integers. So if you get a 0 on an assignment, it means you haven't done it yet. Remember, in my class, you can always do or redo an assignment for full credit. So if you haven't done it yet, if you needed to take an extra day or two or a week to do it, please do it. Get it into me. I'd much rather have that evidence of your learning than not have that evidence of your learning. One, it equates to like you're working on these skills. This is probably closer to a D, but I definitely want you to redo this assignment. And usually I will post, I'll always try to post, here's what I want you to work on, or here are the resources you need to take a look at in order to move beyond just like, oh, I'm starting to get this. This is like first attempt. Maybe we're struggling a little bit. We're developing our concept. 2 means you're getting close. You're getting close to where I want you to be. This probably equates to a C in my book. You could probably move on with some minor gaps in your understanding and knowledge onto our next topic. But ideally, I would love for you to redo that assignment again. You're probably okay if you don't. And 3 means that you're hitting my target. You're proficient at the skill that I'm assessing you at. You've shown me evidence of your learning. This probably equates to a 90% in my grade book. And then 4 means you're going above and beyond. That means you are getting this concept, really well, and you're applying it really, really well in new and different and complex ways. So, but 3 is my target for all my students. So it kind of goes D, C, low A, high A, and then I might give some people a 2.5 if you're like really close to the target, but need a little bit of tweaking. And that would probably be close to a B if you want to do that translation yourself. But how does this work in the grade book? Because if I take a 2 out of 4, in a traditional grade book, that'd be a 50%. But I don't want that to represent a 50%, because in my grade book, you're getting close. You're doing a lot better than 0.5%, or yeah, half correct. So what that looks like is something like this. So this is a calculator that I use. So I'll put your grades, grab your grades out of Google Classroom, put them in Google Classroom or in PowerSchool so you can see them. So they're visual, but those aren't actually calculating and averaging to be your overall grade. Because what I do is I'll punch your grades into this separate calculator, which gives me different ways to look at where you are as a student. It's not just an average. I can also look at your trend line or kind of your line of best fit based on what you're doing and how you're growing. So here's some examples. This first student started off the year with a couple of 3s. They were really getting these assignments. Then they went up to a couple 4s. They started really pushing their understanding. And if I were to average their assignments, it'd be about a 3.4. Or if I looked at their kind of linear trend, they'd be at closer to a 3.6, which is a little bit higher. And so that would be like my mid-A range to my higher A range, if I was going to calculate that to a percentage. Versus this student who first couple assignments didn't really get this one, didn't do this one for whatever reason, but then they kind of picked it up. Be like, okay, I'm working on it. And then I got this 3, like I got this assignment. So I can clearly see this trend line moving up, and I can even show that. So I can actually see this if I take a look at the chart, which I do from time to time. So if I were to just average the student scores, it'd be at about a 1.6. That'd be about a B. But if I were to look at the trend lines of where the student is growing, that'd be closer to like a 2.6 or a 2.8, somewhere in that range, which would be, a C, maybe even a high C, low B, if I were to convert that to a score. And I do have a conversion chart here, which you can see. So like the difference between a 1.6 would be a D, and a 2.6, which would be like that low B or maybe that high C, I get to make a professional judgment there based on what the student's work looks like, is a big difference. So I don't want to control everything and just say, here's your average based on, here's what you were when you just started out this unit and you were maybe bad or didn't understand the skill. And here's where you are at the end of the unit when you are getting that skill. I want to give you credit for that growth. And I'm looking for that growth in this class. So if you're struggling early on, that's okay. Keep working. keep with that growth mindset. You can do it. I want to give you credit for that. All right. If you have any questions on grading, please let me know. I'm always happy to help. Thanks, folks.